It is always interesting each time we join you guys here, or each time you guys join us for the show. Thank you all very much for your love and support. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Lifestyle Show here on What TV. I still remain your girl and the host, EJ. Now, if you haven't followed the Lifestyle Show, please follow us on What TV YouTube. Like, subscribe, and keep sharing. Once again, you all are welcome. Today, we'll be talking about a very interesting topic. Yeah, and a very, very sensitive one too. Today's topic will be talking about the struggle of growing up, in a broken home. And with me here in the studio today are two lovely people. One I call an ambassador, I'd want to say, even though he is not yet officially. And then we have a very lovely lady with us here in the building. Hello, Ma, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Do you mind introducing yourself?
Okay, my name is Miss Jennifer Chima.
Right.
I'm a student, and just recently I started teaching as well.
Oh, that's good.
I'm also a content creator, a video editor, and a designer.
Amazing.
Yes.
So good to have you here.
Thank you so much.
All right. And then we have...
we have Prosper Begedu.
Hello.
Thank you, EJ, for inviting me.
Thank you so much for joining us.
It's always a pleasure.
Yes, sir.
I am an associate professor. I teach American Studies. I teach American culture. I'm also the director of American Corner of Université de Lomé, and also the deputy director of the West African Science Service Center on Climate Change and Adapted Land Use at Université de Lomé.
JP, you people see it, but that's the reason I said it's not official yet, but I mean, we are going there. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today.
It's a pleasure.
All right. So, broken homes. It is a very commonly used word now in this, current age and time. Yeah. So, first of all, I would want us to understand what that term is, first of all. What do you understand by broken home, Miss Jennifer?
Okay, to my knowledge,
right,
I'll try to break it down. To me, broken home is a home that is out of the ordinary. Basically, it's out of the ordinary. It's not, there is a way a home is supposed to be.
Okay.
There is a normal home, and then broken home is like the abnormal home. There is a difference that is not supposed to be there, and it's a negative kind of difference.
Do you want to point it out a bit?
For example, a home, there's supposed to be the father, the mother, the children, right? That's a happy home. That's a healthy home. A broken home is where one of these important characters is missing. Maybe the mother is missing, or the father is missing. That's a broken home.
All right, sir. Do you want to help?
Yeah, I can do that by trying to break it down a little bit more. Because
yes, please.
Here I will put together, the two words, house and home.
Okay.
There is a difference between a house and a home.
Yeah.
Okay.
A home has to do with feeling of connection, of safety. When the person feels safe, comfortable, and connected.
Okay.
Now, the house is just a physical structure where a person lives. So a person can be in a house and not be at home.
Yeah.
Now, because the person does not feel safe, does not feel comfortable,
right,
and now when I put it with the word broken, it means, as Jennifer said it,
yes,
it should be complete. But the broken one is not complete.
Yeah.
Something is missing.
Something is missing.
Love is missing. One father is missing. Understanding is missing. There is conflict. So that means the home is not fully there. It's divided.
Yeah.
It's broken.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are teaching me today, guys. All right, so let's deal with the first question. I mean, how does growing up in a broken home affect a person's emotion, such as anger, sadness, and, trust issues?
Okay, so a broken home, when I see someone, for example, if I'm to meet someone who grew up from a broken home and did not struggle with this anger, sadness, I would actually think that there's something wrong with you, because normally these are emotions that every person needs to be stable.
Okay.
Because the world is full of a lot of things. There are a lot of things we go through in this world, a lot of disappointments, and usually home, like he said it, there is a difference between a house and a home.
Right.
A house is where you go back to after work, but that home is where you go back to with your emotions. It's where you go to,
you pour out those things.
Yourself, pour out whatever it is you feel. If it is happiness, you come back home to share your happiness.
Right.
If it is sadness, you come back home to feel better. So someone from a broken home, you go out there, you deal with the craziness in this world, you deal with the madness, you deal with the disappointments and all of that, and then expecting to come back to a home where you can feel better, where you have people that have this empathy, feeling what you feel, but it's not there. It's not there. So that emptiness, there's no love to feel it. There's no support to feel it. There's no home. Do you get? So it's in place of those love and support that this person craves.
The person then
there's now
emits anger.
Yes, because you're coming back with sadness, and there's no love to heal that sadness. The sadness eventually grows into anger.
Right.
All the consistent disappointments, the craziness, and there is nobody to share that with. There's nobody to help you. So that grows into all these negative emotions.
So what do you think?
Yeah, I think she's right, because the environment in which a person grows determines or shapes the landscape or the emotional landscape of the person. So if you grow up in an environment where you don't feel safe, where you don't feel comfortable or talking to somebody, where you think nobody is going to understand your point of view, nobody is there to listen to you, then you end up being angry, and you end up being very sad, and it is visible in your life. You see that these people, when they grow up in this kind of family, they want to be in their own space. They want to be in their own, in their own corner. They don't want to mingle. They don't want to discuss. They don't want to open up because they are afraid. They don't know who to talk to. So the broken homes, as we say it, they might come from families that are divorced, families that are separated, and families where the two parents are there, but sometimes one is very busy, or all of them are very busy, and they are nowhere to be found. And the children don't have anybody to talk to.
Okay, now, this is where I chip in an outside question. We have youth of today that have, transcended from being Christian, from being raised from a Christian home to becoming an internet fraudster, right? You see lesbians, you see the homosexuals, and you see people and different formation of trends coming up from we, the youth of this current generation. Would you want to attribute most of these illicit activities today? Would you attribute it to the kind of homes they are being raised?
Yeah, there are many factors. One of them is the homes in which they have been raised. And there are other factors like the school, the environment where they go, and the people they meet either at home, in the streets, everywhere. So these all together, put together, play a role. But now, the home is the first structure in which the child grows. And the home plays a very key role. Unfortunately, today, in many homes, parents are absent. They want to give their children to their schools and say, please, school, educate our children. There's no education again. They want the children to be educated through internet, through technologies. And the children are discovering things by themselves. And they don't know what is right and what is wrong.
They're not being guided.
There is nobody to guide them. So when they see it, they go to their friends. I've seen this. The friend does not know. Or the friend also has problems. So when you go, you ask him, oh, I've seen this, what do you think? He said, can we try it? And finally you find yourself into trouble. Because there was no adult, nobody who is knowledgeable, trustworthy, that the child can confide in. And finally, the child find himself in these various trends that you are talking about, which is unfortunate.
Do you want to say something?
Yes, I would like to say something.
Yes, please.
The home is the first institution that a child knows. So if the foundation is not strong, whatever you build on top of that foundation would eventually collapse. So when the foundation of the home is not strong, even when schools try to chip in morals and all, there will be extra work that will need to be done. Sometimes when the foundation of a house is not strong or it's not stable, you have to break down the entire building and start again for the foundation to be fixed. So most of these times, like the emotions, the anger and all of that, most children from broken homes go outside to look for something else to fill that vacuum that home can't fill. And most times it's always the bad thing. It's always the bad thing that ends up filling the vacuum. And that's why they end up being, wayward or going.
Okay, thank you very much.
I can even say sometimes that it is intentional.
Okay.
They do it
intentional
in order to anger or to make their parents to be frustrated.
Oh.
Yeah, they choose it because it's a sign of showing that they are not happy and they want to go into things that the parents don't like. In order to show that they are not, they are not happy. Yeah, they are not happy. Yeah.
What are some of the signs, you see, from a person and you tell that, okay, this person, there's something wrong or there's something fishy going on between him person?
First of all is the withdrawal. Like our professor said,
right?
People from broken homes always want to be in their own world, in their own corner. Because first of all, they would like to find somebody that can relate with them, but they are not used to that. They are not used to having people to understand how they feel. So there's this detachment from people. Most times they can't keep friends for a long time. Most times they can't keep relationships. Most times they can't keep friendships. And then there's the negative emotions of anger. They are always angry. Little things upset them because there's already anger, deep sadness inside. So little things can trigger that anger from within, and you'll be like, oh, you're easily getting angry, but it might not actually be the current situation making the person angry. It's deeper.
It's something.
Yeah, so things like that, when you see people like that, you know that this person has been through something.
So we've been talking, we've been talking a bit about anger and the fact that, most times it's being bottled up. And then when there is that reaction, it's not because of the current situation, but because of, maybe past experience. In this age and time, we really don't encourage young adults to see shrinks. Go see a therapist, get yourself examined. When we talk about it, it's as though you're telling the person you're crazy. So how do we subsidize anger, or can it be substituted for love in such situation? And if you're in, let's say, in a heated argument with said person, how can you manage it at that point in time? Also trying to help the person understand that he or she is not crazy and he can get better. How can we do that?
I think it's through the kind of patience you have toward the person.
We don't have patience.
Listening to him or listening to her. When we are not patient, because sometimes we overreact in front of situations. When the person react in certain manner with you, you might not accept that, and you can overreact. But the person is having a trouble, as you said it. You need to understand why the person is behaving this way or the other way. And this understanding comes from the education yourself you receive, knowing that we are not the same. We are coming from different backgrounds, and the environment in which the person is growing is affecting him. And she talked about the withdrawal, but I will also talk about the other part of this behavior or impact is the violence the person will exhibit. In some simple situations, the person will be overreacting. Why? Because the person thinks, seeing what is happening in his or her house with the parents, within parents, fighting and doing other things. If he does not behave that way, he will not be respected. So for him, he needs to exercise violence so that he will be accepted in the environment. If not, he will lose, and he does not want to lose. He wants to show forth. And he wants also to go into other things like drug abuse, like prostitution, like all kinds of vices, just because he wants to rebel against the society and at the same time find himself where nobody is coming to challenge him.
Unfortunately, before you say something about this, unfortunately, the larger percentage of this lane of anger is on the male side, right? Unfortunately, the male are more to it's rare for you. The ladies we
try to tush
we tush it up a bit, and you see when the boyfriends they are talking, they be like, oh, she gets angry, like that kind of thing. But then the guys, when they are violent, they hit the ladies. So then, should we now justify this? Should we justify? Be like, oh, okay, it's his background, he will get better. Like, should we justify it to be okay? It's okay for him. Should we give it a license for being violent towards another human being?
Yeah, absolutely not. So there's this quote I saw on the internet one time.
Right.
It says that sometimes be careful. The pain that you have experienced might make you to be better than who caused you the pain, or to be worse than who caused you the pain. So there are some people that have come out from these broken homes. Yes, they've been through their ups and downs, but then they realize they have two choices. Regardless, life happens to everybody. It might not be a broken home for me, it might be something else for somebody else, but we still have a choice. We can still choose, okay, I'm not going to make this broken home to shape me or to turn me, like, to, break my character and things like that. I can choose to use this pain to become better or to become worse.
It has a lot to do with knowledge,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He said something about knowledge. Imagine it happening to someone who is not schooled. Do you know, when I was going through mine, I wasn't well exposed, and it was like a process. Do you get? It was like a process. So I was coming from here, I got into another one that was worse. It involved violence. So this one, the two people were together and they were literally like punching each other. Now I came out from one. The one I came out from was a bit better. There was no punches. I entered the next one. They were real punches. I'm not even capping right now.
Wow.
Real punches. And then the third one I went to, I saw where the woman was the one controlling the home. So you see, now these are like sequence. Yeah. So imagine someone like that growing up. Someone as me, so you're like, in your brain, it's like religion. So where do we belong?
True.
Do you get? So you're very much confused. And that's why I ask a question. How do you mitigate this? How do we manage this situation? Because when you meet people like that and you see the way, you cannot, there are people you don't encourage to see shrinks.
Yes.
You literally cannot talk about it. In fact, psychology or therapists or psychiatrists in this our Africa, they are not regarded. They tell you they just want to study, to fly out, and then go practice. So
but it has changed.
So
I know some people have come to me and told me about their experiences. Sometimes I help.
Okay.
Better. Sometimes I see that this is beyond my capacity, and I send them to psychologists because I taught English in a psychology department at university, so I know a little bit of psychology, but at the same time I know that this is not my area. I need to refer the person to a specialist. So what I'm trying to say from what you said is that the person who has come from a broken home need to know that there are things that might have affected him or her.
Yes.
Knowing that will allow you now to work on your personality, on your traits, on your character. Knowing that is about the temperament also. So when you know that this is a result of this that you have gone through, or maybe some people tell you that you are overreacting, you are too violent, you are this, you don't want to come next to the other people, you are too shy. So these are, clues that people are telling you about yourself. If you are sincere and truthful to yourself, you need to go back and say, what can I do to feel better? Sometimes it is through reading, sometimes you can pray, sometimes you can listen to your inner person, and sometimes you can talk to other people and go to a therapist.
Jennifer, from your experience, what really can you say you've experienced so far from where you're coming from? How has the pressure been? How did you move from one stage to another? Where are you now currently? And do you think you could get better without both of them together? When I'm talking about both of them, guys, I'm talking about both parents. I'm sorry. Yes, please.
Okay, so first of all, the stages, basically. There's first the anger.
Okay.
You
experienced it?
Yes.
Okay.
I experienced the anger and the shock. I feel like sometimes these go hand in hand. You're shocked that this could happen, and then you didn't see it coming. Happened. Yes. Okay. Sometimes you see it coming, but then you don't believe. Oh, maybe it's just in my mind. It won't actually become a reality, but eventually becomes a reality, and then you get angry. You get angry because most times you don't even know who to blame.
Okay. And
most times you just have questions that you can't find anybody to answer. They are unanswered questions, and you don't even know who to ask. You don't know who to ask. You don't know who can answer.
Okay.
And then there is this point where there's this acceptance, and with acceptance comes healing. That's one thing that I got to experience. I've accepted that this has happened. But then it is during that period of anger, shock, I have not yet accepted this. I'm still in shock. I'm still
Trying to bottle,
to process, trying to bottle, and then because life goes on regardless of what happens to you, so you're still trying to go on with your daily life, education, work, friendship, and all of that. So it's a lot, and that's what chokes up people mentally, and they give in to certain things that they don't want to. So with this period, this is where like I end up fighting these ideas. No, I will not give in to this. No, I will give in to this, and all of that. But then after accepting that this happened, the next thing is, what's the way forward?
Okay.
And because I'm a Christian, Christ was the way forward for me. So
you didn't like see any psychologist, you didn't see any therapist, or
I spoke to people, but I didn't see therapists.
Okay.
I spoke to people who could give me counsel. I spoke to most people who could talk about it. People that have been through it and healed from it. They could give me good advice,
right?
Yes. And then God really helped me scale through, and it is from God that I learned that love actually covers a multitude of wrongs. Most people that have been through this stage, broken homes is actually a very deep thing. Like it touches every area of a person's life,
right?
Basically. But then love is able to heal very deep wounds. There's an amount of love you show someone that everybody hates, and they would want to know, why do you even love me?
Right.
And that alone is able to push someone out of a very, very dark place, and that's what happened with me.
So do you think that there are two questions I want to ask that are quite contradicting? So how is it that you're able to stand still? You talked about God.
Yeah.
How were you able to still stand still and not derail, become worse than who you are now, right? And then do you think that moving forward you can get better, and in future do you think that you can? I know futures, you can't perceive it, you don't know what comes, but then what's your plan to avoid said thing happening to you as a person?
All right, so to answer the first question,
yes please.
How true, I struggled with derailing. I was this close to derailing. But then that's just the thing about God, no matter how much you try to leave him, he doesn't leave you, and that's what saved me. Because truly I couldn't save myself from the effect of that. But then God was able to save me. So it was God who held me strong and didn't let go, and the fact that he even didn't let go was what made me, maybe there is another way I could escape from all of this darkness that this broken home wants to impose on me. So that was just it. It was just God, and God is love. It was God's love that kept me from falling. And even the times where I felt that I fell, God didn't look at me as dirty. God didn't look at me as unworthy. Because God saw that I am human. I've been through stuff and I need help. Even though I won't utter it with my lips that I need help. But, there was God there to see that I need help. And he used the right people, because God works through people. And then moving on, I'm not certain of the future. But I'm certain that there's one person that would always be there. God. And it's God. And I'm certain that there would always be people that God can use for me. Yes, I've learned a lot from what I experienced. There are certain things that I wouldn't do, that I felt like, my parents could have done this better, or these people could have done this better. But then, I've taken it down so that the people that come from me, it can't repeat. Because I have to put in the work to make sure it doesn't repeat. If not, I'm going to follow that same pattern, and there will be more generations of broken people. So I have to put in that work. I'll do my part, and then I'll leave the rest to God.
Thank you so much. Mr. Prosper, please, can you close this up for us?
Okay, I think we have different experiences, but like me, I come from a family that was divorced at a point. And fortunately for me, I live in an environment where I ask myself the question sometimes, how come that all these people I'm living with are having almost the same,
the same trend.
So sometimes I ask myself, where it's like, we agreed to come and stay in the same place. And sometimes when you see some situation, you think that yours is better than the other people's situation. So for me, I think I was supported by the people living with me, because they always encourage me. They see in me somebody who can make it. So despite all the challenges I can, live through my, home, which is broken,
Right.
I was receiving support from the environment, the people I was living with. And I went to church as well. And there also I got the support that I needed, because I couldn't see the love that I was trying to see, because I was not having my two parents together. But at church, they were telling me that, you are very special, you'll have a lot of things you can offer.
Yeah.
So I see, solace in this participation. And that is what is reflecting sometimes in some of my activities. I am into social works.
Right.
I support people because I see myself through the eyes of these other children, these other people who are struggling. I was fortunate to have people who were around me to support, but other people don't have.
Exactly.
And they cannot make it. They end up becoming, things that they didn't want to become, because they didn't meet the right people. They met the wrong people who told them, okay, you need to rebel, to show them that, they are not taking good care of you or something. And finally, you end up being into drug. You going to jail and committing immorality and all types of vices. So I think we have to do some work by ourselves, and also the environment in which we live need to support. The children are coming from homes. They are having situations. Even the teachers at school should not worsen the cases, because sometimes they are the ones who say things that destroy the children. They destroy them because a child comes late, a child comes crying, a child comes forgetting everything. You need to approach him or approach her and see what is happening. The child was working very hard. Now the grades are decreasing. What's happening? He or she is going through some situation. You need the teacher needs to have this fatherly or motherly love. The children are the students are his or her children. But unfortunately, there are teachers who come, teach, and they don't look, they don't see. Sometimes when you see a student, you will know that the student is going through
something at home.
And you can help, even call the parents. You have that responsibility as a teacher, as an educator, to call the parents. I can see that your child is doing this. What is happening? But sometimes the children are, there is pressure. They cannot open up
to talk.
And they have everything inside.
Miss Jennifer, I want to thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Mr. Prosper.
Very welcome.
Guys, you guys have heard it. I want to say from the horse's mouth. Like I said, when I began talking, I said something like, this is a very sensitive topic. Now, here's the thing. Miss Jennifer said something. It takes inner decision to stay on track. See, it is worse when you don't have God. That's one thing. And then it is worse when you have people around that do not have God. So like you're in the middle of a very chaotic experience and you're standing alone is the worst. The thing is, it's not easy, but it's possible. But here's one thing, if you successfully pass that stage of not derailing, you come out flying. See, I'm not capping. Like, you come out very strong that when you talk, people listen. So it's possible. And like Mr. Prosper has said, our educational institution should introduce more of psychiatrist department or psychology department, or should employ teachers that are able to discern when something is going on with said child or with the family of said child. That way you are able to at least ensure that your children stay in line, and no matter the circumstances, they would end up growing to be better. And then for the homes, our fathers and our mothers, and then the younger generation, when you want to marry, Charlie, be sure. Be sure. See, gone are the days where you print wedding cards and then you just I think that's what's happening these days. Everybody just wants to print wedding card and then do wedding, but nobody is thinking about the marriage itself. So it is possible, but then it takes the grace of God. We've come to the end of today's show. Thank you very much, guys, for coming. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Prof, for coming. Thank you so much. All right, until we come your way next week, stay blessed, stay safe, plenty love from me to you. Bye bye. Chai.